Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 7th of April 2016. Now I want to start with an apology because at the end of the last video I said that in this part we would be taking a look at putting together the water infrastructure for the economy. But what's actually happened is that I greatly underestimated the time and effort that I would need to put in to get the economy to the point where I can implement the water infrastructure. I've also had to make quite a lot of changes and I've encountered a few problems which I wanted to talk about. So I thought rather than mix it all up, what I'll do is make a video so that I can give you guys a bit of an update of where we are with respect to the economy and how prepared we are for water. And you can see we're doing okay. We've got, well, over 1 billion, isn't it? 1,000 million. We've got a population of 76,000. It did get up to 78,000. But what's happened is that because I've been reworking all the distribution offices, I caused a bit of disruption, especially to electronics and some other, and also the meat supply, because I've put the meat supply onto the rail network. But that's also triggered some other problems, which I'll talk about as we go along as well. And what that meant is it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would do to get to this point. Even though we're only just over a year on, it's taken me about 20 hours of gameplay, mainly with the game on pause, as I've gone through all the rail distribution offices, tried to sort out one or two problems to do that. And it was just a very tedious process. And what I actually had to do in the end was kind of do it in like hour, 2 hour sessions. And then I want to start to get a bit bored of it and lose attention. Then I'll quit and take a break and come back again. And although, so it is a very time consuming process, but I think it's really worthwhile because if I show you my economy, come into the economy tab here, you will see, well, if we probably the last month would be a better example. If I show you the imports, we've only got importing a little bit of electronics, food and meat, and that's into this town here because this is the only town now that's not been fully integrated into my overall supply network. And the reason for that is that, as you can see here quite obviously, this part of the rail network isn't yet fully electrified and connected. I've also realized that I didn't have the ability to ship meat out here, and considering we got multiple consumers of meat, in the fact we got the shop and we got hotels, what I've done is I put this out here, which I want to build in before, so that we can get the meat in. Now once we've electrified this, we can start to ship the electronics out, because one of the things I've tried to do with the distribution network is eradicate the long distance vehicle routes and try and get a lot more onto my rail distribution network. Now the one area where I'm a little bit weak with respect to imports is electrical components. If we go back to the economy, and I'll just show you the well, I'll show you, talk through the export side. Just go back to the last month. Now the one, as I said, the one area is electrical components, and the reason for that is simply that at the moment my electrical components isn't particularly strong enough to support the production of electronics and also all the rail construction. So what I've done is I've still got one area where if I get low on electronic components, the rail distribution office will step in and purchase them. The other thing I've also done, as you see here, is I'm exporting a little bit of nuclear fuel, simply because my nuclear fuel production filled up and stopped working. So I thought, well, rather than let it sit there, where I thought I'd export the nuclear fuel. So I've got a single open hull truck running backwards and forwards across the map. And so you can see at the moment my economy is effectively self-sufficient, which I'm really happy with. But, and it is quite a big but, is that some key resources are a little bit precarious, and one area where I do need to fix something. If I come down to here, because what I've done is, because I've put the meat on the rail network, you can see I've consumed a lot of crops, and crops is increasingly becoming an issue. And if we didn't have the water update, I'd be looking to try and build a couple of farms, because as I say, if I show you here that we're only on the 12th of April, and you can see we're actually running out of crops. So what I want to do is, I think this is the distribution office that I want to hook up. We're going to come up all the way out to here, because this, all the rail network up here now is complete, and we've got a bit of crop surplus here. So what I want to do is we're going to put you on there. I want you to pick up, as long as this is over 50% full. I want you to bring crops down to here. Oops, this one's already connected. What is, who is this? It's the Volno train station. We can find it. There we are. We need you to unload. I think 30% will be enough, because this is quite a big silo, and I don't want to drain out too much. And then what the next thing? So the idea is that I think what I will do is buy some more wagons. We've got refrigerator trucks here as well, so looks like all the refrigerator trucks are out as well. So we're gonna buy a couple of refrigeration, 22 tons of meat. I'm not sure what. I think that might be a little bit too much, but we're buying some more of those, because this is quite an important hub, this rail one here. This is what this is doing, is distributing all the clothes across the map, and as you can get the clue from here with the refrigeration trucks, in fact let's buy a couple more, is also distributing all the meat. Actually, oh, it's these ones, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, a couple of those as well. Yeah, I bought these small trucks so that to try and restrict the I think yeah, a couple more of those. And let's just check. Yeah, this guy's picking up meat here. He's picked up 8 tons on a single one. And get this now. I think it's the top one I'm looking for. Yeah, you're doing the loading, and don't worry about the fact these have only got 3 trucks in. There's 2 covered holes on the way out here. What I want to do is put this in here, unload the crops. I don't want 100%. I want to make sure this is, I can't remember how big's the storage here, 5,000. So if we set this to 30%, actually maybe a bit lower, no, 20%. What I want to do is just make sure that I've got enough crops coming into here to ensure that the meat supply is going, because I did have a bit of a disaster when I was reorganizing the distribution network, and the various places started to run out of meat. Now the way the food system works is that the food production in Knife Edge here is only supplying food to itself, Foodville, and also Colville. All the other towns on the map, like Stilton and all up around here, is now supplied with food from up here. You can see all the different locations where we're actually sending food to. Now, if you watched the previous video, you're aware that I was shipping food down to Volcano here, and then onward shipping to Stilton. Now, the food supply coming in here is just for Volcano itself. The reason for that is that, again, it's crops. I wasn't actually playing on with the water update. The priority would be is to get some farms in here. This up here is a fairly key area, and I've got to be a bit careful, because not only is it providing all the food, it's also providing all the crops to my new industry here. This is my new chemical stroke electronics plastics industry. The plastics industry is going pretty well. In fact, I think you can see that the plastics is well over the top, but at the moment the electronics is marginal, because we got the electrical components. I think the way it works is we're getting the electrical components fed into here. Wait, cut it out. I don't want you in. I saw some workers coming over here. They're probably working on this construction here. The moment I've got a shortage of workers, this is the reason why I'm not opening up all these factories, the same with these, because at the moment there's, if I show you here, I don't have enough workers to even keep like one and a bit of these chemical plants going. For that reason, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually importing chemicals in from Ollerton, I think it is, yeah, in order to ensure that the various factories here, like the plastics factory and the electrical component factory, are getting the chemicals for that area there. I think the chemicals are in here actually, yeah, got 26 tons. So at the moment this looks like I'm ahead of the game, but it's only simply because I'm actually supporting bringing in the extra chemicals. And what I've done is I've split the electronics distribution. This one is supplying this side, left hand side of the map. If I zoom out, well, let's just go this way. I'll show it to you on the map. So the electronics production here is covering, if I draw a line kind of down this center block here, the electronics produced on this side is supplying this side of the map, and then the electronics factory is still in Stilton is filling down this bottom kind of corner of the map here. So I've kind of split the electronics production, and again, because I disturbed the overall supply, it got a little bit tetchy. But I think it's managed to start settling down a little bit now. I think we are still producing. Not when I loaded the game recently, but when I loaded the game, I think it was yesterday afternoon when I was still working on the economy, I had a message come up saying a building had been destroyed, and I hadn't been able to find it, and now I'm not looking for it. I've actually found it. This was a modded technical office, and I do wonder whether what's happened is because the technical offices have been changed with the new update, that this technical office actually self-destructed because it wasn't no longer supported. Either that or the person who's done the mod had updated it in order to deal with the new water mechanic, and that actually removed that one. Anyway, in some ways that is a little bit of an advantage because it means that I can just fill in this little gap here, get that there. And I just want to build that technical office. I'll talk a bit more about technical offices in a little while. While we're over here, I just want to talk about another problem I had, is that I started to run out of steel, because the amount of steel I was using because of the vehicles that I was churning out here, but just with the respect to these vehicles, I've also been turning out a lot of trains at the moment. Although there's nowhere near enough and it's not fast enough. Again, it's workforce more than anything else. But you can see here I've kind of been punching out lots and lots of actually we're probably going to need some more covered holes, so going to knock out another 10. I think I've built probably about 30 or 40 covered holes in the last year. I've still got some here. The reason I've been pumping these out is that I've realized that I'm going to need a good supply of covered holes to cover the transport system. And I've also, what I've done is I've brought back some dumpers and various other vehicles that are no longer required around the map, because I'm now using trains to move gravel and coal around, so I've got a surplus of dumpers. But back to here, what started to happen is, the first thing was that the trains weren't keeping up with demand. So what I've had to do is put an extra coal train on here. So I think I've got 3 coal trains running this way, and I've also got an extra iron train. And what that did is it actually started to deplete this area here. And what it came down to was workforce. You can see I've got nearly enough workforce in here. I could probably get a bit more, but I'm not sure if I can push this town any harder. And this is one of the problems I've got. It's not just the fact that the production capability, it's getting the population. And we're already up to 76,000. I'm pretty sure we're at the limit until I can get more farms built. But as a contingency, what I've done is I planned this extra iron mine here, which will push more iron into here should I need it. But I think now that the building boom is over, things have settled down a little bit. While we're here, I just want to take a quick look at my, and And one advantage I've got is the amount of track that I'm laying at the moment is being reduced quite considerably, because I've laid all the main track around the top of the map here. And what I've currently got, I think, oops, thank you again, is if I come to here, what you'll see at the moment, this construction office is working on two things. It's working on finishing this track down into the nuclear power plant, and I've also got the other one that's working out this way, because we got the track out here, and of course I've got this long track all the way out to here, because I've built a small construction office out here which is now connected up to this area here. And part of the reason for trying to get this track out here is that I'm thinking that we might be able to get a farm out here in this flat areas. And I'm also thinking possibly a branch line out here, or a farming area here as well. But that's all very long term, and it's a possibility that I'm never going to build it. I say generally this area is pretty rock solid actually. I mean, we've got quite a lot of, I'm considering on the 26th of April, we've still got quite a lot in the way of crops stored in here. So at the moment I can afford to draw crops from this area down to be able to keep the electronics and the meat supply running. The key one is the meat and the clothes, because as I say, if I show you here, we're down to 672. We're down to 700. This one's not quite so bad because the food production in this area is no longer being trying to supply the whole map. So I think if we probably take a quick squint in here, yeah, you can see we got quite a lot of, let's consider on the 25th of April, we still got a fair amount of crops in here to work with. Not exactly sure why I've got this in here. I think I'm just going to knock this down. I don't need it anymore. Because I'm thinking this might be a location for a water purification plant. I've also tidied up this corner here. I've also removed the asphalt and concrete plant from here because I didn't want it to be drawing water even accidentally. So I've tidied up this area a little bit, but generally knife edge has been left alone. Colville, what I've started to do again, I had a bit of a problem related to the iron over here, and so what I've started to do is think about possibly upgrading, get rid of these trams and putting the train sets in like this, because they can go a bit faster and we got more work, we can get more workers out to it. I think I've got, but again, it's all that comes down to expanding the population. And I think the problem is when the economy gets really big, it becomes a bit of a self-destructive cycle. Let me just see. Yeah, so we still just got a little bit of meat electronics coming in. We seem to import about 3 tons of electronics every year. You can see there. So, but beyond that, I think things are going pretty well. As I say, I've had a few kind of nightmare type problems crop up, but I've been able to fend them off, partly because I've got so much cash, and also partly because I've got resources I can pull on. I just want to check. Yeah, well, we still got plenty of clothes supply, because the whole map now is dependent on this town for clothes. Train waiting too long. It's probably, yeah, it's over here. That's not a problem. I'd rather have the trains waiting so that they can go straight in. Yeah, so you can say that I've got 3 towns here. We got this one that's producing the clothes. We got Foodville producing the meat. And just want to check. We're still holding up. I think as long as I can get crops kind of trickling into here. Let me just see whether that train is bringing the... What are you doing? And you can see that I've got lots of... The weak point I've got at the moment is keeping that meat supply going with the refrigeration trucks. Not sure, where are you? Where's the office? The office is just here. And again, the problem comes down to is how hard I can push this before it starts to collapse. What are you doing? Where sending me? Oh, Irontown, yeah. What I've done is I found that Stilton was having a problem with the food supply. So what I've done is because I'm bringing food into here, Irontown now, because I've got this road through here, Irontown now is supplied for food and meat from over there. It's no longer bringing up supplies through here. And for that reason now is that this road is virtually empty, which is, and I think that's what that's done, it should have done, is resulted in a more stable supply of clothes and food and meat than it was by having the double transfer to Stilton and then back again. So that is part of the problem thing. I think I've also cracked the power supply problem here as well. This is where I embarrassed myself. And part of the problem was that in this corner, I put this substation in because the substation in the center here, you can see it was overloaded to 202%. It still fluctuates a little bit, but part of the power fluctuation was due to that being overloaded. I just want to check my prisons. I think we're getting close to maybe another prison time. I don't know, we're not doing too bad. Now, and actually talking about actual crime, again, I had an interesting problem over here in Foodville, that I had a small police station just here. So what I had to do is build a full-size police station in here, and I think I can trim out these roads now. Don't think I need them. Put these back just in case I need to build something here. And I suppose what I better do now is talk a little bit about the planning I've done for the water. And I've gone a little bit more overboard with the chemicals, and what you'll see is I've got this little warehouse here, and what I've done is I've got some 14 tons of chemicals in here. So what I've kind of done is areas where I might need pure water, I've kind of created a stockpile of chemicals in here. You see, we've got 29 tons of chemicals in here, and that's the reason why I come into here to exports. You'll see that I'm not exporting chemicals simply because I want the chemicals available for the distribution system so that things will work quite well. So we got a stockpile of chemicals there. I think we've got, well, we've definitely got chemicals in what we call it over here, because we're using chemicals for this industry here. Can't remember if I put chemicals into Ironville. Let's see. I think we may not have chemicals up here because can't remember actually. Maybe I do need to put some chemicals in here. Problem is getting the chemicals up here. I can't remember if I put. No, I don't think I put chemicals here. We got them. What I have done is I've put these offices in ready to be able to deal with the water problems. I think here what we may have to do is just use a non-purified supply system. I think over here I've got chemicals. Let me just see. So what I've done is I've tried to get chemicals into, yeah, we've got 27 tons of chemicals here. So technically, should we need to, we can ship chemicals over to here from here. So I've kind of built a distribution system that can supply the chemicals to different towns should I need it. Knife Edge has got chemicals as well. If we come down to think I've brought the chemicals into here. So what I've got over here now is a chemical stockpile here for purifying the water in Knife Edge. The other thing I've also done is I sorted out the fabric supply to the clothes factory that is over here. Where is it? So I've tidied up this corner, and what we've got is a supply of fabric from over here, or we should have. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure. I must admit I've been doing. You can see here my my helicopter crew is probably running out of things to do, so we'll probably need to keep an eye on that. When I take a quick look, just make sure. I mean, this is an example of what I've been doing for the last 20 odd hours. Yeah, there's the fabric supply there, so that's picking up from here. There it is there. So we're actually using the train to bring the fabric down to here to then supply the clothes industry here. And I think what we're doing now is, rather than exporting the clothes from here around the map, although I've still got 70 tons of clothes in there, because of course we're sending the clothes to Colville. So the way to look at it is that Knife Edge and Colville are now in symbiosis for all its supplies. I did have a bit of a collapse here with respect to keeping these going, because this distribution office here got a bit overloaded. So I've got this distribution office here with sole responsibility for sending out the food and clothes to various parts of Colville here. So that seems to be working quite well. This rail construction office now is shut down. You can see we've got a little bit of electro components in here, simply because it's just was too far away from the action. So what I did was I moved the actual what's it up to here. Where are you? There you are. Have a quick look at what the guy's doing. Just see. He's kind of building the track out that way. And see what we've got. This guy working on this bridge here. And what I've also done is I've pushed out a track this way. So I'm kind of trying to lay the track round this way. I did try to join this up, but what I need to do is put a construction office out here to lay the track. And I'm kind of thinking about putting a small, in fact I think I'll do it. I'll put a small construction office just here. Use one of Nova's tiny construction offices. If we tuck it just on this corner here, okay, we get the old get that built, and hopefully what that do is give me the range to connect up this line here. So that would give us another loop around here, which will go into Nuclear City, which will be down here. And the plan is to have another big farm here, and then we'll have another town out here which will work on airport construction. But that's something that will need to be done in the future. Oops, I think I might have made a mistake here. Oops, yep. Okay. I didn't mean you guys to move in. Wanted to control you moving in. Yeah, a bit of a mistake here. Sorry about this. I mean, it's in some ways it's not that bad a thing. It's just I've got a bit of a wrong profile here, but we'll just get that in there. So I'm a little bit worried about overextending the services here. I really need, yeah, helicopter crew. Work on that. What that should mean is I should be getting a lot more people coming into here eventually. Let's just have a look at the, yeah, so the population is still growing. But what I need is more trains on here. You can see I've already got quite a few. Actually, let me just speed the game up a little bit. See if we can, how quickly these trains are filling up and how whether we're getting a build up of workforce. See, I think we're getting, see, we're not getting a lot of people sat around here doing nothing. So it is working, and we should be getting more and more. But problem is I think the population needs to be a lot bigger to be able to get this up to maximum performance. What was that? Plastics. Unable to export plastics. Yeah. I mean, I could export the plastics, but at the moment I'd rather carry a surplus just in case. What we could do is, not sure. You're the plastics guys. What are you? Where are you? You're over there. You've only got 2 trucks, but what we could do is add you to. Oh, please. Unload plastics. Actually, let's just fill these up. Actually, interesting. Who's delivering plastics to you then? Oh, these guys have got their own 100% supply. So this guy is working from, so that's the wrong way round then, isn't it? I've messed this up a bit, haven't I? Okay, let me just remove you from there. Not that one, the other one. Need to add you. Oh, come on, you can do it, game. You can do it. Put 100% plastics in there. Okay. Right, you also need mechanical components and electro components. Anyway, we'll just dump the plastics in there. The only thing I will want to do is this full over here. Can't remember which. I think it's this is the one that's got plastics in. Oops, I think what we'll do is we'll put a couple more covered holes in here. And this is an example of how many covered holes I've been producing recently. I've been filling all these various distribution offices up with covered holes. So if we come over here, I mean, I've got vehicles everywhere at the moment. Just let the game back on slow speed. Get you there. And that should be the 3rd one here. I think that would be enough for this. Thank you, game. want to check this side. This is moving crops. He's got 2 trucks still sat in there doing nothing. I think you also do, let me just check. I think you're also responsible for mechanical components. So what we'll do is we'll plug you into mechanical components over here. You can drop off mech components. Set you to 100%. So I better check the warehouse. Yep. Get this here, here, and here. The profile I've got here. Looks like I've just gone with the general thing and put that to 15%. And we got the, yeah, I think that will work. Got to get some chemicals in here as well. Let me just check that. Who's distributing the chemicals? From here. You don't. We're getting plastics in here. And the mech components are now. We need chemicals. I can't remember who's actually picking the chemicals up from. Yeah. You're the guys sending electronics to the border post. I think you're the chemical guys. Because you should be picking. Yep, you're the chemical guys. So you need to be. You're already there anyway. Which. This is in chemical station 5. We put you on there as well, so you should be delivering. You should be delivering chemicals to here. Are you delivering to warehouse? No, you're not. How are you? Oh, you're delivering to there for the. Because I forgot to build a cargo shed there. This is such fun. I'm a bit confused over. Well, it's working, so I'm going to leave it alone. So what that should mean is that the only thing that we've not got is electro components, which we need this one for. So this needs to be built. So we need to get the helicopter groups on that. I think the big guys, heavy squad here, can make a contribution as well. Although these guys look like they're already, they're obviously sources without panels. Where's your prefab panels going from? Here comes the panels. I think having this central construction area in the middle of the map has made a massive difference. It's also acting as a fuel distribution center as well. As I say, it's also acting as a meat distribution center for here. So we've got all sorts of stuff coming in here. Food, clothes, mechanical components, electro components are coming into here as well. So to keep the, because this is my main rail construction area as well. So I think this is working really well. So if you guys are going to go for a really big economy, having something like this in the center of the map just makes a vast difference. Some buildings have yeah, this is the one that's bringing in all the various components, cement and everything for this area. So it's literally ensuring that all the supplies are coming in. Messages are quite quiet as well. Actually, this is something new. I don't know if this is a change with the new update, but I don't kind of recall getting messages from about the orphanages. But you seem to get these messages now telling you that you don't have enough tutors or something like that, and I'm not sure. I've got a feeling that is something new. The other thing I want to do is just go down and check the courthouse in. Or it looks like we're getting a bit of a problem from the perspective of law and order. Just check. I think what we might be doing is, yeah, we're going to need a new courthouse. Question is, where can I put it? We've got. I mean, this is one of the things that this game seems to do to you. You think you've got it cracked, and then what happens is, let's put this on. Let's see if we can find a center of unemployment. We need a new courthouse. It's not major there. A little bit of unemployment in Knife Edge, but what I'm looking for is a major center. Oh, look at that. We've got quite a lot of unemployment here, so this might be a good place to put a courthouse. State infrastructure, Crime and Justice courthouse. We've got a small courthouse, but my instinct is to go big. We can put it about here, get you there. This is where it tells me it won't. Oh, look at that. We can get the connection there. Get the heavy mob on. And then we're run. On game, you can do it. And what we need is a footpath. Oh, come on, you can do it. You can do it. No. Right, these guys are. What I'd like is a footpath here. Get you to there. And the helicopter crews on these as well. Super crew. Yeah, I think because the economy's grown so big, let's have a look at the prisons and 134. I'm not sure I can get another prison up here. I think we've already got 3 prisons here. We've got 4 prisons. Here 186. Here 153. Okay. We need a new location for a prison as well. Got quite a lot of unemployed here, but I'm not sure I really want to put it there. Foodville. Yeah, you don't. What we need is a very strong pool of unemployment. Got a little bit here, but I'd rather have all the workforce pushing out that way to be able to keep this going. Oh, the other thing also, when I started this up, I was getting a bit of a problem with oil supply, so I had to buy another ship. So we got another ship coming in from up here. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see that the ship's making a difference now because the ships are pulling all the oil out of here. So again, we're going to have to be a bit careful with the oil supply, but of course I've got no other resources on the map with respect to oil. So whether we'll be able to sustain this self-sufficiency is another matter. Is that not being built? We're going to need that heating plant for the winter. Oops, that's too many buttons. I mean, I think the problem is over here. So we can't really let anyone move into here until this is finished. So that is another problem. We got a kindergarten. I'm sure I put a kindergarten in here. Oh, there's one there. I mean, generally everything is good. It's just a question of filling in all the little gaps now. So that's not much I can do. Well, I think because we're on the 19th of May, I'm just going to do a check for crops now. Over here, I'm very concerned about the actual food supply. What we've got crop wise, we still got 3,000 tons in here, which is good. The problem is down here. We've still got 300 tons in there. We've got 400 tons in there, which is not bad considering we're in May. So I think redistributing the food output has made a difference here. Still got some crops in there. We've got 3,000 tons there, so the alcohol production is going pretty solidly. So we've got 400 tons in there. See what we've got over here. This one is empty. And we've got some. This one is empty as well. We've got 1,000 tons in there. We've got just over 1,000 tons left in there, and we've got 3,000 tons in there, keeping that going. And we got 1,000 tons in there. Ooh. And we got just enough to keep this ticking over here, which in theory should keep our meat supplies full up. I think what's happened now is it's settling down because the meat's been distributed right across the map here. And I'm aware time is pushing on, and I don't really want this video to be too long. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to take a little bit of a check for electronics. That's not. Oh, we got 2.7 tons in there. Is there any way we can use the big overmap? Okay. Right. So it looks like we've got. It says we got coverage here. We got electronics in. Actually, let's start. Do it in an organised way. We'll start over here. I say electronics was the weak point, where we know that this is solid because we're actually importing the electronics. Come to Ollerton. What we got here? Got a little bit of electronics in that store. You've got electronics in there. I think so. It looks encouraging. You don't have quite so much. So Ollerton's a little bit out on the kind of extreme. Yeah, we've got a little bit of problems there. We've got a bit of problem with food and meat. That could be more of a distribution issue. Sorry about this. But overall, it looks fairly solid. Knife edge. Yeah, knife edge is a little bit out on the, well, the edge itself. So yeah, there's no electronics here. We may have a bit of an electronics problem here. Yeah. What is causing the problem here? Are we getting electronics into here? Electro components, electronics. Did I miss out anyone delivering electronics here? Just take a quick look. Again, this is an example of... Just do it the reverse way. There's food. Clothes. Where are you getting electronics from? You don't seem to be getting electronics from anywhere. Nicomo Camp Station. You should be picking up, just checked. So the electronics are meant to be coming into Railmat. So we've got to find the say that it's probably one of the early ones that are yeah, this one's meant to be distributing electronics. Where are you picking the electronics up from? You're picking up from... Yeah, it's... I think the problem is that it's here. We're not really getting the electronics. So this one's actually shipping the electronics, but you can see it's shipping very small amounts. Wondering if we make sure everything is flowing from here. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should take the electronics off. Let me just go over here. And what have we got electronics wise over here? One. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just add knife edge to here so that knife edge gets a dual supply. So if we put in you there, unload electronics, 30%, 100%. Right, let me just get back over to here, just check. So at the moment we've only got the one electronics factory running. We really need the second one up and running. We need to get this built. The trouble is we need the workforce out here. There's no point putting extra trains on because this guy will just take everybody. You can see we've got multiple trains coming in here. We just need more and more workforce. Right, we've got this built here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another. These are all going to be over 21s, but I think that how's the population now? Getting a lot of escapees. That kind of indicates that there's something not quite right on the economy. Getting lots of deaths as well. That could be a death plague, but at the same time there could be something actually wrong with the overall economy. But But to find that, we're going to have to go hunting all the way across the map. In here, have a look. There's food, pollution, alcohol. Right, guys, what I'm going to do is, this is where I'm going to call it for the video. I've obviously got to do a bit of searching to try and find where my death wave is. It could be down to the high criminality that I've got at the moment because of the problems with the courthouses. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. What I'll do is I'll play on and try and sort out some of the basic mechanics with respect to the game. And then in the next part, we'll definitely be working on the water. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.